Day 7 of the Olympics, and the heaters just keep coming. First, we got an Olympic record out on the men's discus in the spiciest of fashions. World record holder Mikola Selekna, 69.97 meters to break his own dad's Olympic record, just for Jamaica's stoner to beat both Aleknas in an underdog victory, cracking 70 meters on the dot. So not only does he take down one of the most distinguished throwing families in the sport, but also becomes the first Jamaican to win an Olympic gold in a field event ever, and against one of the deepest discus fields we've ever seen. Jamaican field is better than their track these days. Grant Holloway is out there as usual, being the main character in his semi-finals. But as the finals do draw near, the other times do come closer. The big three in the men's 4 hurdles are doing big 3 things, sitting pretty. My mouth is watering for these finals. And the men's 200 meter is starting to look like the US sweep versus Tobago, in a foresight everyone saw coming. But the men's 400 meter has been flying, and for no good reason. Like seriously, this event was looking like absolute toilet water at the start of the year. And that's me being nice. Over the past few years, a good chunk of the 400's top talent have been dropping down a distance. Not saying it was a bad idea for everyone, just mostly. But come early 2024, signs of a resurgence were finally on the horizon. A 19-year-old named Christopher Morales Williams out of Georgia University broke the indoor 400 meter world record, legitimately out of nowhere. Don't tell me it wasn't. He then promptly followed that up with a promising 44.05 second time outdoors. But like for many, the NCAA ran the legs off him and he slowly fell apart as the Olympics neared. He also decided to call his competitors old. Then fresh out of the womb, Quincy Wilson broke the hearts of every track fan by making us all feel extremely self-conscious about our own abilities. As a 16-year-old sophomore, he's been having a dream of a season, and it isn't even over yet, dropping his 400 meter PB from 45.87 seconds the year before to 44.20 seconds. And it was over the course of just 7 races. I honestly believe he was the catalyst for the fire that kicked the pros' asses into high gear. Because once these young lads started dropping scary times, every pro 400 meter runner just started dropping bombs. UK's Matthew Hudson-Smith started firing, first with a European record, then a 43.74 to Diamond League. US's Quincy Hall also had a stab, blowing up the trials with a 43.80 second time. And then there was a whole bunch of other fellas, new and old, dropping 44 low. So we went from top prospects abandoning the event to 2 top 15 performers all time emerging in less than a month, right before the Olympic Games. And then, on the 6th of August, the Olympic semi-finals hit. Heat 1, and Quincy Hall reportedly jogs a 43.95 in his big boy draws. It wasn't a jog, but a 43.95 easing well off from the line. He's firing on all cylinders. But not to be outdone, he too showed us why Karani James, Grenada's first Olympic medalist ever, and he's done so at every Olympic Games since 2012, is still feared over a decade later. A sickening 43.78, his 3rd fastest time ever. This man is a 2011 world champion. How is he still doing it? And he was closely followed by Zambia's Samu Konga on the other side of the age spectrum in another sub 44 time. And as I said last video, in those 2 races we saw more sub 44s than we did in the entirety of 2023. But it just gets even more sickening, as in Heat 3, even though Matthew Hudson-Smith led the slowest semi in 44.07, he was legitimately easing off from 40 meters out. And it wasn't any of that Kashane Thompson easing shit. He put on the brakes for 40 meters to almost go sub 44 seconds. That's it. He's the gold medal favorite. Somehow, over the last 2 months, the 400 went from a struggling event to one of the most exciting. But unlike the 100 and 200 meters, running 400 rounds at any major championship is so brutal. Fast times in the semis could mean a slogfest in the finals. Or bloody not, I guess. You thought Cole Hocker had a kick. Rounding the final bend of this 400 meter final, Quincy Hall goes from 5th to 1st in something only Femke Bol would do in a 4x400 relay. I slated Hall in my predictions video, but he proved more than anyone else in this race, he wanted it more. Teeth grit, face sour, in his trademark wide swinging form, he reeled in this field of 5 sub 44 runners to win by an inch. And look at these times. The semis was already looking crazy, but this is just mind-blowing. They've rearranged the top 5 in history with this one race. Quincy Hall number 4 all time, Hudson Smith 5, while Richards and Simakonga become new additions to the top 20. But like the men's 100 meter, we're not getting world records, but as a collective, we are seeing the fastest races in history. I mean 43.44 for second place. That's the fastest second place we've ever seen in this event. And third, and fourth, and fifth. 2024 is the year of depth. A flying race from these boys, and after brutally fast rounds. If this had been a slogfest, I would have taken it, but this was well above my expectations. So what do you guys think? Another contender for the most exciting race at Paris so far? And we haven't even seen either of the 4 hurdles or the 200 meters. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.